Hi, good afternoon everyone, and I'm Dr. Ram Sushruth. Welcome to my YouTube channel Residharma. Today's topic is about melanocytes and their applied aspects, along with a short introduction about depigmenting agents. So, before going any further, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel to get interesting videos regarding dermatology. So let's have quick introduction about melanocytes. Melanocytes are pigment producing dendritic cells in the epidermis. Okay, these melanocytes produce a pigment which is called as a melanin. What is the action of melanin? Melanin acts as an ROS scavenger and also it protects the DNA from photo damage. Melanocyte basically rests on the basement membrane near the dermoepidermal junction, but it extends its dendrite into the epidermis till the layer of stratum spinosum. The melanin which is produced in the melanocytes is packed in certain specific organelles which are called as melanosomes, and through the dendrites these melanosomes are deposited into the keratinocytes. There is a special stain which is used to stain melanin. It is called as FM stain or Fontana-Masson stain. Before going into the details of embryogenesis of melanocytes, I would like to tell you that I have mixed the applied aspects and where the treatment modality acts in the discussion itself. So please go through complete video to know about them. I haven't discussed them separately. Melanocytes are seen within 50th day of gestation. Melanocytes are produced from the dorsal aspect of the neural tube. If you remember, there is a neural tube which is formed during the embryogenesis, and from the dorsal aspect, from the neural tube, the ectoderm and endoderm and mesoderm arise. So even our melanocytes are produced from the dorsal part of the neural tube and originate with the neural crest cells. These neural crest cells have pluripotent stem cells. These pluripotent stem cells divide into multiple structures like melanocytes, neurons, glial cells, and facial skeleton system. Predominantly, the cutaneous melanocytes are derived from the Schwann cell precursor. Melanoblasts migrate between the ectoderm and the mesoderm dorsolaterally. Which all structures harbor melanocytes in humans? First is skin, after that hair, after that eyes, ears, and brain. In brain, structures like leptomeninges contain melanin. In ears, melanin plays a major role in hearing process. Again, going back, by 10th week we can see these melanocytes both in the epidermis and also in the dermis part, predominantly over the head, neck, presacral area and dorsal aspect of the extremities. So by the end of the gestation, few of them might go through apoptosis and majority of them might migrate into the epidermis. Ta-da, let's come to the first round of applied aspects. There are 5 conditions which are related with the melanocyte migration from the dermis to the epidermis. The first one is congenital blue nevus, the second one is nevus of Porter, the third one is nevus of Ito, the fourth one is Mongolian spot, and the fifth one is dermal melanocytosis. Now let's discuss genetic aspects of melanogenesis. Genetics play a major role in the biology of melanocytes. They act at different levels like proliferation, migration and differentiation of melanocytes. Okay, as I showed you here, there are multiple genes which play a major role. Among them, the most important ones are MIT-F, PAX, SOX, KIT gene, EDNRB, tyrosinase gene. See, if you ask me how do you remember these, there is one simple way which I remembered. If you like it, please do continue or else create your own. KIT is something which is related to makeup kit and something related to pigmentation or color. So KIT is the first gene which I easily remember, and KIT is always is related with piebaldism. How? Because in the makeup kit you get a small brush kind of thing which just leaves a spot. Piebaldism is something related to that. So I just correlate it like that and remember. The second thing is these makeup kits are mostly used by females. So F, and something which is closely similar to KIT is MIT. So MIT-F is one of the important genes which plays a major role in the biology of melanocytes. It helps in the proliferation, migration, differentiation and survival of the melanocytes in the skin. and the two genes which I remember are Pax and Sox, maybe something which sounds like pants and socks. These Pax and Sox genes regulate the signaling pathways which regulate the expression of MIT-F. So these are also very important. And next one is EDNRB gene. This gene is related to Waardenburg, and most of the letters DNRB are in Waardenburg, the name itself, and the E, if it is W, which is this shape to this shape, it is E. So try to correlate it something like that. I remembered in that way. The other gene is tyrosinase. It is related with oculocutaneous albinism. Yes, now let's go into little applied aspects. In oculocutaneous albinism, there is a defective TRY gene. Due to the defect, there is misfolding of tyrosinase enzyme. So what happens when this tyrosinase is being secreted and it comes into the ER, this misfolding is present, so it causes activation of some stress, which is because it is not normal, it creates some stress which leads to the activation of unfolded protein response. This unfolded protein response kindly gets activated and it causes the destruction of the target proteins. So the tyrosinase which is being produced does not get accumulated into the melanos. So the melanin is not being produced. So there is no melanin content in the skin. So this is about oculocutaneous albinism. Now coming to Waardenburg syndrome. Activation of this EDRB gene causes ET3, which is endothelin 3 expression on ectoderm and mesoderm. This is needed for the migration of the melanocytes into the tissues. So in this condition, there is improper migration of these melanocytes into the tissues. So there is the first tissue is skin, so there is leukoderma. The second tissue is eye, there is heterochromia iridis, and the third is ear, there will be congenital deafness. Now let's discuss vitiligo also here itself. Vitiligo is a condition which is polygenic in nature. So genetic aspect is also plays a certain role in the pathogenesis of vitiligo. There are two genes play a major role. One is NLRP gene, the second is PTPN22. Defect in these genes makes the melanocytes vulnerable for immune damage, and there is total absence of melanocytes in the lesion with vitiligo. Now I am going to discuss a syndrome which I never read during my post graduation, but now I am telling you guys for information sake. There is one more condition which is similar to the loss of melanocytes. It is called as Vogt-Koyanagi-Hada syndrome. In this syndrome, there is again total loss of melanocytes in all the structures which have melanin. So in the skin there is leukoderma, in ear there is deafness, in eyes there is heterochromia and also other ocular abnormalities, and in brain there is aseptic meningitis. Now let's discuss about the color and complexion of the skin. So the color of the skin is totally related with the melanocytes. These melanocytes will form certain adhesions with the surrounding keratinocytes to form one unit. It is called as epidermal melanin unit or epidermal melanocyte unit. And the synthesis of melanin in these melanocytes is a continuous process because the cells of the keratinocytes are also continuously proliferating, and the cells need to deposit melanin into the keratinocytes. Now let's discuss about the complexion. There are two complexions, which is fair and darker. Okay, the complexion doesn't depend on the density. Remember, this is a very important point. The complexion of your skin doesn't depend on the density. It rather depends on the melanogenic activity and the rate at which melanosomes are transferred into the keratinocytes. So in individuals who are fair, the melanosomes which are transferred are usually small and they are placed discretely at the periphery. But in a dark skinned individual, they are large and are placed all over the cell. Next, the density can vary from area to area in your body itself. That is, in the ventral aspect of your body, usually the melanocyte density is around 500 per mm cube. Whereas in the places like genitalia and over the face, it can range as high as 1200 per millimeter cube. coming to the relation of melanocytes with the hair follicle. Okay, the concentration of melanocytes in the hair follicle is high. Second, the stem cells which are related to melanocytes are present in the bulge region of the hair follicle, and there is cyclical modification in melanocytes along with the hair cycle. That is, during the early anagen, that is even before the anagen is starting, there is proliferation and migration of the melanocytes from the bulge region to the bulb region, and by the end of the anagen phase, these melanocytes start getting apoptosed, and this is why only the anagen hair bulb contains melanin. The color of the hair depends upon the melanin ratio, that is the ratio of eumelanin with the pheomelanin. So the people who are new, eumelanin is the pigment which causes the black color and pheomelanin is the pigment which causes the red color. So if the people have red colored hair, there is more pheomelanin content compared to the eumelanin content. So if people like Indians, you who have black colored hair, there is more eumelanin content. Now coming to the applied aspect, see, for treatment of vitiligo, there is a procedure where we do FUE harvesting of the hair follicles and implant it over the lesion in the patients with leukotrichia in a vitiligo. The theory behind it is the stem cells will start proliferating and migrating to the surrounding tissue. And also one way of mechanism of action for NBUB and 308 excimer is by stimulating the stem cells which are there in the hair follicles to migrate into the surrounding skin. Melanization is a continuous process. There are 5 steps in melanosome synthesis. The first one is there is transcription of proteins that are required for the melanosome synthesis. Second, once the transcription is over, there will be synthesis of the melanosomes. Third, there will be sorting of these the proteins and enzymes into the melanosomes. Fourth, there will be the transfer of melanosomes from the ER to the dendrites. And fifth, from the dendrites, there will be transfer of melanosomes to the keratinocytes. Coming to the stages of melanin synthesis is different. In the stage 1, there will be melanosome formation. In the melanosome, there is a protein, an important protein called as GP100. It is present, but it is not organized properly. As slowly it matures to stage 2, there will be organization of this GP100 protein in a proper fashion. In stage 3, there will be deposition of melanin on the GP100, which acts as a scaffold, and there is high tyrosinase activity at this stage. Usually the fair skinned people have more melanosomes which are in stage 2 and stage 3, whereas dark skinned individuals have melanosomes of stage 4, in which the melanosomes are large and there is complete synthesis of melanin and there is less tyrosinase activity because already complete synthesis of melanin has almost took place. Melanosomes are specific and unique cell organelles. They are thought that they are modified version of lysosomes. This is because they express a protein which is called as LAMP, which is lysosome associated matrix protein, and also an enzyme called as acid phosphatase, which are also present in lysosomes. So how does a melanosome of a eumelanin differ from a pheomelanin? Melanosome of a eumelanin is large and elliptical, that is like egg shaped, and melanosome of a pheomelanin is small and spherical in shape. So these melanosomes majorly contain a matrix protein and an enzyme for melanin synthesis. The matrix protein which is very important is GP100, and the enzyme which is very important for the synthesis of melanin is tyrosinase. These enzymes are also glycoproteins. They need a sugar to be added to reach a fully active state. So after being produced from the ribosomes, they pass through rough endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi complex, and they undergo transformation, following which they get added up to the matrix proteins, which leads to melanin synthesis. Now clearly understand one thing. from the ribosomes the matrix proteins are formed, and from the ribosomes the enzymes and the glycoproteins are formed. These pass through the endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi complex, and finally after the post translation of the glycoproteins of the enzymes, they meet together in melanosomes and activate melanin synthesis. So in order to organize this process, there is a need of certain protein called as adaptor protein complex 3. So when there is a defect in the subunit of adaptor protein 3, there is defective transport of proteins into the melanosomes, which leads to a disease called Hermansky-Spudlak disease type 2. Whereas in other types of Hermansky-Spudlak disease, there is dysfunction in biogenesis of lysosome related organelle complexes. So here what is happening is the proteins which are getting synthesized are not reaching to the correct organelle. Now the organelle has been formed, which is our melanosome. It has to be transported through the dendrite to the keratinocyte. So I would relate this transport to a normal public transport system, which is our electromagnetic trains. Electromagnetic trains, though they are not there in India, I just want to brief a little about it. There is a track which is in the bottom of the train, I mean below the train, which helps in moving of the train. So in such a way, there are microtubules and certain proteins which are called as dynesins and kinesins, which help in laying the track and movement of the organelle through the microtubule to the keratinocyte. Now let's think about the train. It has a clamp kind of thing which sticks on to the magnet which is there in the bottom. So this clamp, think that it is made up of 3 rods. One rod is called as RIB27, and other rod is called as myosin 5A, and other rod is called as myofilin. These 3 rods uniquely provide the strength for the train to pass through the track. Any loss in these interactions between these proteins will lead to Griscelli syndrome. In Griscelli syndrome, as the melanosomes couldn't be transported properly, we can see the melanosomes beside the nucleus of a melanocyte itself.